Welcome back to Fab Automotive Detailing. You guys, in this video, we're going to take a look at two different paint thickness gauges from KaiWeets. Let's do it. So one of the cool perks about being a YouTuber is companies reach out to you and want you to review their products. Like this one, I got these for free, but I was not paid monetarily for this video. When they reached out and they said the company's name was KaiWeets, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but just bear with me. I was like, why does that sound so familiar? That's just a familiar name. I saw the way she spelled it, and I was like, why does that look so familiar? But it never rang a bell with me. A couple weeks later, I actually needed to test the battery and alternator on my truck, and I went to get my voltmeter that I bought off Amazon probably 6, 7, 8 years ago. I'm not sure. I've had it for a long time. And guess what? It is KaiWeets, as you guys can see right there. And I love this voltmeter because it tells you where to put your leads. Now, as a mechanic, you kind of learn that throughout the years, but it's just nice that depending on what you're doing, it's going to show you where your leads need to go. And this still is available on Amazon. This isn't part of this video at all. It is light up. You can use this to test your outlets to see if there's any power on your outlets on your house or whatever. But this thing has been awesome. So I was like, okay, that tells me these are probably going to be pretty good paint thickness gauges because I know how well this product works. So the first one we're going to get to is the KOTC02. This is $59.99. And I will put a link in the description of the video where you guys can find both of these products. It does have a 2-direction screen, which basically means if you're using it like this, you can read it. But if you're using it like this, you can have it facing you so you can read the screen better. It'll store up to 30 measurements at a time, so you can actually store and you can go back and read your measurements as you get done doing the car. It does microns or mils. It goes from 0 to 2,999 microns or 0 to 118 mils. I like to use mils personally. I think it's easier for me to know, 5 mils, 6 mils, 4 mils, 3 mils. I like that better, but that's all dependent on you. Some people like to use microns. This one is not rechargeable. It uses 2 AAA batteries. It does come with 2 AAA batteries. Self-calibration, I'll show you guys the calibration here in just a little bit. You can set an upper and a lower limit. So if you want to max it out at 12 mils, let's just say, you can set that limit and it's going to set an alarm off to let you know when you hit that limit. It has auto recognition, whether it's going to be steel or aluminum, ferrous or non-ferrous. This on. All you do is you just press down on it and it's going to turn on. You guys heard the audible beep. And then when you take your paint thickness measurement, you press down, let up, and it's going to show you your measurement up here. It does show your battery gauge, which is really nice, especially since this one is not rechargeable. It does come with a nice case. Nice carrying case, and inside here is going to be your owner's manual, and then this is all your calibration pieces and plastics, but it's very nice. The thickness gauge goes right inside there. That's going to keep it protected if you drop it. This is the box that it does come in. The item is made in China, just so I don't forget to tell you. Very well done packaging. I like the presentation of both of these. Okay, so we're going to move on to the KOTC01. This one is going to be $79.99 on the website. Very cool as far as the paint thickness gauge to me on this because it's color screen. There's a lot of stuff you can do on this. Has a lot more features. This has a 4-direction screen, which means no matter how you're doing it, if you're doing it upside down, you can turn the screen all the way around so that you can actually read the screen, which is really cool. It has a 2-inch color screen, and it does 0 to 1,700 microns and 0 to 66.93. That's what this says in the manual of mils. It is rechargeable. So up here, you actually has a USB-C right here on top, and that is how you recharge it. So you don't ever have to worry about replacing the batteries. You can store up to 8 groups and 32 measurements per group. You can export the data. So you can actually plug this into a computer, and you can export your readings if you want to give those to your customer, or if you want to keep them for your own protection. That's why paint thickness gauges, one of the most important parts about them is to protect you as a detailer or as a DIYer from burning through your paint. Self-calibration, just like the other one. Upper and lower limits, just like the other one. You can set an upper or lower limit. Like I said, it is color screen. Turn it on. You guys can see it is color screen. There is a lot to this one. So we can actually graph it, which is cool. And then you have all your measurements right there if you don't want to graph it. Hold this down and it's going to turn your screen. I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys this one right now because I have it on right there, and it goes all the way around. Gives you your battery gauge up here that your alerts are on. You're on number 1 of 8 that you can store everything on. And then if you press up, you can go, if you hold it, you can go to mils, hold it again, You can go back to microns, whichever way you want to do it. And then if you hold, I think it's this button, I don't remember. Yeah, that's going to take you to your menu where you can set your limits. You can reset to factory settings. This is where you calibrate it. You have a basic calibration, zero calibration, and special calibration. Many different things that you can do with this version right here. Both of them work great. I've been testing them. I've had zero issues with either one of them. The other thing I like about this one is there's actually a grip right here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That your fingers fit perfect in. They fit perfect. This one doesn't have that same grip, but it does have dimples right there, so that hopefully if your hands are sweaty, you're not going to drop it. So here is your holder for it. When you unzip it, you got your manual, you've got your calibration pieces, your charge cable, and then you have your rope to store. If you want to put it on here, you put it through there. That way you can kind of wrap it around your wrist, less chance of dropping and damaging. Okay, so before I actually put in the paint, I told you guys I was going to show you how to calibrate it. So let me show you doing the KOTO CO2, the $50 one first. And this is what it comes with. You have a ferrous, a non-ferrous metal. So take them out of the packages. It doesn't matter which one. You can do it on either one. So we're just going to do it on the, what do I have here? I have the ferrous metal, but this is going to be a 50 mil. You see how thin that is? So thin. And then you have 100 mil all the way up to 1,000 mil, and you see the difference, how big the 1,000 is versus that 50. But it's pretty simple. So it's going to have you go through all of these. So turn it on. Make sure I'm in gauge here. You're going to hold down the calibration button. 0. What it wants you to do is it wants you to get your 0 reading on the metal. Okay. So now it's asking for the 50 mil. Okay. Now it wants the 100 mil. Now it wants the 250. Now it wants the 500. Now it wants 1,000. And after this, it should be ready. Okay, it's done. Now the next time we take a measurement, right there it says 999. It does say on the box plus or minus 2. Try it again. 1,003. And these actually say plus or minus 2 on them also. Let's try the 500 mil. Right on, dead on. Okay, for the KOTCO1, which is going to be the $80 one with the color screen, first thing you want to do, go ahead and get your calibration stuff out. So we want to go ahead and grab this, turn it on. Okay, hold the set button down, go down to thickness calibration, basic calibration, and once you get our 0, so that'll be on this metal right there. Now it's asking for the 50. Now it's asking for the 100. Ooh, almost grabbed 2. That would have really messed it up. Now it wants the 250. Now it wants the 510. This one actually goes a lot faster than the other one. Now it wants the 999. Okay, so now it's reset. It's done with the calibration. Let's put the 250 on, see how close it is. Dead on 250. Let's try the 50. And it's dead on 50. So that's how you calibrate both of these. All right, so let's go ahead and check out this one first. So we want to get a base reading to see like the thinnest the paint is going to be. So we'll go and open up a back door. This is going to be where your thinnest reading is going to come from. Okay, so turn it on, basically do that, and you're ready to go. Oh, sorry, I like to use mils. Let's change this to mils. So there you go, 3.11, 2.96, 2.92. So we're about 3 mils. So that tells me, once I get my reading up here, like on the hood, and by the way, FE, so that is a metal, 7.54, 7.22, 7.20, and you'll never get the same reading twice because paint is always shifting. 7.09, let's try this side of the hood. 6.25, 6.15. So I'd say on average we're about 6.5 mils on the hood. Now down here the gauge is upside down. Now you can't just pick it up and just do this, not a big deal. But if you hold this button down, turns the screen around for you. Now you can read 7.96, 8.51, 8.37. So that gives me an idea that on these side panels, you've got about 4 mils to work with. Now, obviously, you don't want to remove all 4 mils. You don't want to do that, but it gives us an idea of what we're looking at. So let's go ahead and turn this back around. Let's try it on the side of the bed. 7.53, 7.74. Let's just move on down right here. 7.38. So that gives you an idea that from your base reading of say 3 mils, you got, 4 mils or so. So you're plenty thick enough that if you need to compound, which this truck definitely needs compounded. All right, so let's go on to the next one. So by the way, these do have an edge. So you can do edge of paint. I meant to show you guys that. I forgot. This one, you have to actually hit the power button. You can do this, but it's not going to turn on like the other one. The other one doesn't have a power button. This one does. So once we turn it on, it's already set to mils. And the other one, by the way, every time you turn it, it turns off. It resets to microns. We had a 3.11 reading around there when I did this a minute ago. 3.19, so it's close. 3.17. Turn that off. 7.87, 7.42, 7.87, 7.27. This was in the 6s on the other one. I don't remember what they were. 7.18, 7.01. So they're really close to each other. This one, like I said, the screen turns. So let's say we're doing the side of this panel. So let's turn it to like that. We can do the side like this. So 7.55, 8.4, which is about dead on what the other one was. 8.42. Let's go ahead and turn it. Sorry guys, it's hard to watch the camera and do this. Let's turn it that way so we can do it like this. 6.7. 6.56. One thing I forgot to mention in the video on this one right here, if you turn it on, I'll show you guys. It'll save your minimum maximum as you go around the vehicle right there, your max, your minimum. So you don't have to try to remember. You can remember that inside the door was 3.11. It's going to show you as your minimum, whatever your minimum reading is, and your maximum reading, so you can kind of get an idea how thick the paint actually is. All right, so what did you guys think of the paint thickness gauges? They are very important to have. Now, if you're a DIYer that doesn't have a machine, you don't plan on ever polishing or doing any compounding, you don't really need to know how thick your paint is. You don't really need a paint thickness gauge. But if you're a professional or DIYer, if you ever plan on compounding and polishing a car, especially these newer cars, these paints are thinner and they're softer. That's a terrible combination, but that's just the reality of the world that we live in right now. You need to know how thick the paint is that's on your car. It's a very cheap insurance policy versus having to pay for a respray. And resprays can be thousands of dollars these days, depending on how bad you actually burn through someone's paint or your own paint. This is a cheap way to keep yourself safe. Both gauges do exactly what they want to do. This one just has more features. It has more memory. You can do more things with the actual screen itself. It's going to store your minimum and your maximum. It does a lot more than what this one does, but this basic one over here still gets the job done. It's like one I have back here that I've had for a long time. Is extremely basic also, but served me well for a very long time. It just depends on what you're looking for. If you need all the memory aspects of 8 different vehicles, your minimum and your maximum and all that stuff, and the screen rotating 4 times around, you can graph it, you can actually print it off on a computer. If that interests you, this is the one for you. So I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video and checking it out. Thank you, KaiWeets, for reaching out to me and sending these to me. These are both very good. I really appreciate that. If you guys liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Join the Fat Family. We'd love to have you. We'll see you in the next video.